Good evening. You're listening to Quiet Sleep Cat, a calm place for slow stories and gentle rest. You don't need to focus. Just relax and let the night carry you. The next evening arrives with cooler air and warmer windows. Moonlight Town has settled a little deeper into autumn. The bridge lantern is lit early. The library windows glow for less time. The stone road holds a clean, quiet chill. May notices these things as she walks, not through surprise, not through noise, only through small changes that ask to be seen slowly. She passes the post office first. Its front lamp is low and honey-colored. Inside, drawers are closed. Letters rest in their trays. Nothing seems hurried there tonight. Farther ahead, the bakery gives off its familiar light. The sign says closed, but a warm line glows beneath the door. Another rests across the lower window. The shop is still awake. May had meant only to stop by for a few minutes, only long enough to ask whether Mrs. Imai had thought more about the notebook, only long enough to see whether the page with the quiet morning wish still felt the same in the light. But by the time her hand reaches the door, she already knows that a few minutes in the bakery rarely remain a few minutes. Warm bread changes time. Soft lamps change time. A wooden table, once sat beside, changes time too. She steps inside. At once, the night outside becomes softer. The scent of bread, butter, tea, and old wood gathers around her. It is not strong. It is settled. The kind of scent that belongs to a room that has been warm for many years. Mrs. Imai is at the back counter. A tray of plain rolls cools beside her. Wrapped loaves wait for morning. Nothing is out of place. And yet, the room feels different now. Not newer, only slightly more aware of itself. The notebook is no longer hidden in the lower drawer. It now rests on the high shelf behind the counter. Not displayed, not announced, only present. The dark blue cover catches the lamplight softly. Mrs. Imai looks up and smiles. "You came back," she says. May returns the smile. "I thought I would." Neither of them mentions the notebook immediately. That, too, feels right. The lantern had once done this. The old letter had done it too. Now the notebook does it. Breath in and out. Mrs. Imai pours tea, then takes the notebook down with both hands and lays it on the table between them. For a moment, neither opens it. May looks at the worn corners, the ribbon, the uneven edge of the paper inside. The notebook no longer feels like a found thing. It feels like something that belongs here and has simply waited to be noticed again. Outside, someone passes on the street. The footsteps do not hurry. Inside, the kettle gives a softer second note. The bakery remains warm. The table remains still. The notebook remains closed between them. Then Mrs. Imai rests her fingertips on the cover and says, very gently, "Let us read that wish again." Mrs. Imai opens the notebook to the ribbon-marked page. The paper there is slightly softer than the pages around it. Not damaged, only touched more often now. May leans closer. The lamp keeps the words in a small circle of gold. The line is still simple. It still reads, "I wish for one morning with no hurry at all." Tonight, it sounds tired as well. Not sad, not desperate. Only written by someone who had been carrying too much motion for too long. May studies the letters more carefully. The writing is neat, but the last words dip lower across the page. There is space after the final line, as if the writer stopped there and rested the hand before closing the book. "It feels different tonight," May says. Mrs. Imai nods. "Yes, yesterday it sounded gentle. Now it sounds needed." Mrs. Imai turns the notebook slightly and looks at the small date in the corner. It is not recent, nor is it old enough to belong to another age of the town. "There is more here than the sentence," she says. May lowers her gaze. Near the edge of the page, she notices a faint mark. Not quite a note, not quite a drawing. Only the smallest sign of hesitation in the same ink. A hand that almost wrote something more. Mrs. Imai lifts the previous page, then the next. There is no name, no answer later in the margin. Only other wishes nearby. Dry weather, a safe return, a child sleeping through coughs before dawn. Each one is modest, yet this one feels more inward, less about an event, more about weight. May glances toward the front shelves. The room has already begun preparing for morning, and perhaps that is why the sentence presses more gently and more clearly against her mind. A morning with no hurry at all. How long had the writer gone without one? How many mornings had begun in motion before that line was finally written down? Breath in and out. Mrs. Imai touches the edge of the page. Not the words, only the paper near them. This was not written by someone asking for idleness, she says. The sentence is too careful for that. A person who writes only one quiet morning has already learned to ask for very little. May feels the truth of that settle. The line becomes even more tender. Not a week, not a season. Only one slow beginning. One morning where the first step need not already belong to the next task. "It makes me think of hands," May says after a while. Tired hands. Hands that lift shutters before light. Hands that sweep before people wake. Mrs. Imai smiles softly. That is exactly where my thoughts were going. They do not investigate. They simply let the wish sit between them and begin, very quietly, to think of the people in Moonlight Town whose mornings belong to others, before they belong to themselves. The tailor works late, but late is not the same as early. Miss Elin keeps long evenings in the library, yet her mornings are often calm. The post office clerk has known busy dawns on market weeks, but not as a daily habit. Mrs. Imai herself wakes before most windows brighten, but she knows her own writing. It does not sound like her. May thinks of the herb grower checking stems at first light. But the herb grower loves dawn, even in cool air. She may wish for rain. She may wish for stronger rosemary, but not, May thinks, for one morning with no hurry at all. She already knows how to move slowly, even while working. The two of them fall silent. Then May says, "There are some people who are never the first to speak of needing rest." Mrs. Imai looks up. Yes, the ones who always say, "I'm all right." The ones who arrive already in the middle of their day. That sentence settles over the table. Then another person begins to gather in both their thoughts. Hannah, Mrs. Vale's cousin. The woman who sweeps the edge of the square before delivery carts come through. The woman who appears in the bakery at dawn, often enough to be familiar, but never early enough to linger. She thanks kindly. She pays exactly. She asks after others. Yet her body always seems one small step ahead of itself, as if the next task has already reached for her sleeve before the present one has finished. May can picture her clearly. The scarf tied neatly on hurried mornings. The way she stands near the door while waiting, rather than truly coming inside. As if sitting down would ask more of the morning than the morning could spare. She writes carefully, May says. Hannah does too. She asks for little. Hannah does too. She is always awake before the town feels ready. Mrs. Imai gives the softest breath of agreement. Hannah does that most of all. The name is not spoken as a conclusion, only as a gentle possibility. They do not say, "It must be her." They say only, "It could be her. It sounds like her. It leans toward her life." Breath in and out. Mrs. Imai remembers how Hannah once stood by the window and closed her eyes for a second when the first bread came out warm. How she has more than once left with tea she did not have time to drink until later. How she once laughed and said, "One day I will sit properly," not as a complaint, almost as a promise made to a future she had not yet reached. The wish on the page remains small, but around it, a life begins to gather. Early keys, cold air, unfinished tea, streets before sunrise, tasks taken up before anyone asks. It does not feel dramatic. It feels familiar. That is what makes the line ache so gently. "One quiet morning," May repeats. Mrs. Imai nods. It only sounds large because the person who wrote it has gone too long without it. Once Hannah's name has entered the room, the wish begins to look different again. Not because it has been solved. It has not. But because a morning with no hurry at all is easier to understand when placed beside a real route through the town. May looks toward the bakery door and imagines Hana arriving before sunrise. The square first, then the lane, then bread, then home, then whatever else the day asks. A morning like that does not become gentle by accident. If it is to soften, something must be prepared for it in advance. What would such a morning even look like? May asks. Mrs. Imai considers the question with complete seriousness. In Moonlight Town, small wishes deserve exact thought. If a bench is to be warmer, the lantern must be lowered. If a returning step is to feel recognized, the path must be arranged before dusk. And if one tired person is to have a quiet morning, then quiet cannot be left to chance. It would begin before she reaches the bakery, says Mrs. Imai. May nods. The square would already be partly swept, so the first task is smaller. Yes, and the bread should already be waiting. The idea grows gently. A soft morning, they decide, is made of removals more than additions. One stretch of road less to clear. One line less to stand in. One cup already poured. One corner of the day that does not ask to be earned before it can be received. May can see it now. The small table near the front window, laid with a cloth before first light. A cup there already. A plate there already. Plain bread. Warm. Simple. Nothing too sweet. Nothing too elaborate. Nothing that would turn rest into attention. She must not feel arranged for, May says. No, says Mrs. Imai. She must only feel that the morning has gone strangely, kindly soft. That seems exactly right. A wish this quiet cannot be answered with spectacle. It must arrive the same way the wish was written, without noise, without explanation, without making the person feel observed. Only helped, only held a little. Mrs. Imai begins naming what would be needed. A lamp lit earlier than usual. The kettle warmed in time. A loaf set aside. A chair already pulled out just enough. The table by the window, because it catches first light, but not too sharply. May adds other things. The lane near the square could be swept before Hana reaches it. The outer stones, at least. If Miss Elin were awake early enough, perhaps she could keep Hana 1 minute by the library corner with a small question. Not to delay her cruelly, only to make room for the softened morning already being prepared ahead. Breath in and out. Mrs. Imai smiles at the notebook. At some point, the bakery must have done this before. The book kept notes beside certain wishes. Someone here must once have believed that a wish, once read, was also a small responsibility. May looks again at the modest sentence. The notebook does not feel like a diary. It feels like a place where hopes were left in warmth so that the town, or someone in it, might notice what could be made gentler. Not everything, not always, but sometimes. And sometimes is enough. Once the shape of the morning has been imagined, the room itself seems to grow more ready, not because a plan has been announced, only because intention has settled into the bakery. The lamp appears warmer. The folded cloths seem nearer to use. Mrs. Imai closes the notebook carefully. She leaves the ribbon on the page of the wish. Then she sets the book beside the teapot, rather than returning it to the shelf at once. For tonight, the wish remains part of the table. "We will not tell many people," she says. May nods. "We should not. But we may need a little help." A little help is different from a great announcement. That, too, is one of Moonlight Town's oldest understandings. Care works best when it can move quietly from hand to hand. A lantern can be borrowed. A cloth can be folded. A path can be swept. A cup can be left ready. Mrs. Imai begins with what the bakery can do on its own. She will wake earlier. The first lamp will be lit before the sky fully pales. The kettle will be on sooner than usual. A tray will be set aside tonight, not tomorrow. Plain bread, warm enough to comfort, simple enough not to embarrass. She crosses to the cooling rack and studies what remains. Then she chooses with unusual care. Not according to display, according to what would feel most like being quietly looked after. May watches this and understands something new. The answer to the wish will not be made of a single act. It will be made of selections. This loaf instead of that one. This cup instead of another. This table. This cloth. This minute saved here. This burden lifted there. And I can take the square edge, May says. Mrs. Imai looks up. The part nearest the bakery? Yes, before sunrise. Not all of it. Only enough. Mrs. Imai smiles. Enough is the correct amount. They both fall silent for a moment after that. Enough. The town often works by that word. Enough room on a table for one quiet cup. Enough care placed gently in advance that the person arriving does not feel alone. There remains the question of timing. Hannah passes through early, but not at the exact same minute every day. Miss Elin may help, says Mrs. Imai after thinking. With the library corner. Only if she is awake early enough. Breath in and out. No one speaks of Hannah as if she were fragile. That would be wrong. The wish itself suggests endurance. They are not trying to rescue her from mourning, only to let one morning arrive less heavily than the ones before it. Mrs. Imai finally lifts the notebook again. This time, she returns it to the high shelf, but not at the far back. She places it within easy reach. Recipe book, tea ledger, town wish book. They now belong to the same wall of ordinary things. Before May rises to leave, Mrs. Imai folds a cloth and sets it on the corner table by the window. Not the final cloth, only a test. They both look at the lamp above it, the chair beside it, and the small waiting space where one person might sit before the day fully claims her. It will need to feel natural, says May softly. It will, says Mrs. Imai. And warm. Warm first. By the time May steps back out into the street, the night has deepened. The bakery door closes behind her with its usual quiet click. Warm light remains in the window, but less than before. The shop is preparing to sleep. Moonlight Town feels especially still at this hour. The bridge lantern rests above the dark water. The library has gone dim. The post office lamp has lowered. A coolness lies over the stone road. Yet the town does not feel cold. It feels prepared. Prepared places hold warmth in advance. May walks slowly home. She passes the square and looks at the stretch of stone Hana will cross in the morning. Nothing marks it yet. No sign says kindness will happen here before dawn. No sign should. The difference will be in timing. In labor done earlier. In one part of the day being quietly cleared before another person reaches it. She likes that. The wish will not be answered by words. At least not first. It will be answered by a morning arranged half a breath softer than usual. That suits the notebook. That suits the bakery. That suits the town. At the bridge, she pauses. The water below holds a thin gold reflection from the lantern above. She remembers the lantern that had once seemed missing, how it had not been lost at all, only moved where light was needed. Now, she thinks, the same thing may be happening again, only in another form. Not light this time. Time, ease, warm bread, a swept edge of road, a chair already waiting. The town is borrowing from itself again. A curtain shifts at the tailor's window, then settles. A leaf turns once along the ground. Far away, a door closes softly. Tomorrow is not meant to astonish, only to lighten. Breath in and out. Back inside the bakery, though May cannot see it now, Mrs. Imai makes the first quiet preparations before bed. She wraps the chosen bread in clean cloth. She sets the kettle where it can be reached in dim light. She checks the cup for the corner table. Then she looks up once more at the notebook on the shelf. The old letter had found its place. The borrowed lantern had found its path. Now the notebook has found the shelf from which it will listen. Mrs. Imai lowers the lamp. The bakery softens around her. Wood, cloth, cooling air, the faint, sweet smell of bread still resting in the walls. For a moment, she stands without moving, not thinking of tomorrow as a task, thinking of it as a kindness that has already begun. She says very softly, "One morning, that should be possible." Then she goes upstairs to sleep. And in the town below its lanterns, before dawn has even arrived, a little space has already been made for someone who does not yet know it. A little less sweeping, a little more warmth, a little more time before the day tightens. The wish is not answered yet, not fully, but it is no longer resting alone on the page. It has entered hands. It has entered rooms. It has entered the quiet, working thought of the town. Tomorrow morning still lies ahead. The square is still dark. The chair by the bakery window is still empty. But already, in the deep calm before sleep, Moonlight Town is beginning to hold open a gentler beginning for someone who has gone too long without one. Good night, and sleep well.